It's important to have standards and expectations in dating. What is the difference between the two? And how can you create clear and realistic standards and manage your expectations so you don't get hurt? First, let's talk about the difference between expectations and standards. Expectations are what we impose on other people, and standards are what we hold for ourselves. And let's get into a little more detail about both. Standards in dating signify the way we want to be heard, seen, and treated. It's important to identify our standards and expect them to be met when we're dating and when we're in relationships. Some examples of standards in dating are respect for your opinions, your feelings, your needs, your beliefs, and your desires. Number 2, shared values, ethics, and worldview. Number 3, honesty and trustworthiness. And number 4, a feeling of safety, equality, and affection. Now let's talk about expectations in dating. An expectation is a strong belief that something is going to happen, and it's based on our assumptions, not reality, because we cannot predict what's going to happen, how somebody will behave, or how the date is going to go. Once we understand our own expectations are nothing more than our best guesses built into a belief about someone or something, we can begin to manage our expectations. These best guesses are based on our deeply held opinions and belief system mixed with a big dash of hope. If you've watched Love is Blind and you see people build up expectations because they haven't seen this person yet, it's not that dissimilar from somebody who's built a connection with somebody they met online and haven't yet seen. Even though you've seen pictures, they may look nothing like their pictures, and you may not really relate to them in person. It's happened to me, it's probably happened to you. So let's talk about 3 ways to manage your expectations. Number 1, get curious. Whenever you're in doubt, get curious and ask for clarity. Ask what the other person needs or wants instead of assuming. For example, you might assume that the person you're dating wants to go out to eat after a long day of work when they may just want to stay in and cuddle. Save yourself from disappointment by asking and not assuming. Number 2, stay present and open. When you stay present to who your date is, you're going to stop projecting who you think they are or who you want them to be. Stay present and open, and you'll have fewer misunderstandings and disappointments. And number 3, don't date potential. One of the biggest mistakes in dating is meeting somebody who would be great if only fill in the blank. You stay with them because you see their potential, but they aren't making any changes for you or for themselves. Stay with them because you like who they are now, not who they'll become, if only. And that doesn't mean that someone can't grow and you see the potential in their personal growth, but if there's something major that you don't like about this person, but you are hoping that somehow they're going to change, or there is a big issue that has not been overcome yet, don't date potential. And that is how we can manage our own expectations of others. It's a little harder to manage other people's expectations of us, but it's definitely something that can be done, and it's worth investing your time and energy into being proactive in 3 key areas around ways to manage other people's expectations of us. Number 1, communicate. Speak up. Early and often. Let the people you date know how you want them to treat you. Those are your standards, right? Repeat yourself if you have to, and you'll probably have to with many people. Let them know your standards and boundaries, like what hours they can call you and when you become intimate with a partner, and generally what you will and won't do. People cannot read your mind. For example, you both share what you need in advance of a vacation, such as downtime to recharge. You're going to have more fun and less disappointment or resentment. I had clients who never shared that they needed downtime, and they'd come away from a vacation feeling depleted and not energized. Number 2, anticipate problems. It's healthy to anticipate and speak about the worst case scenarios in dating and relationships so you can be prepared for whatever comes up. That way you can ensure there are less big surprises and upsets and things are going to go much better. If we know that in times of conflict, somebody's going to have a tendency to walk away and not want to stay with you and work things out, that's something that needs to be said early on so that you can talk about it and talk about better ways to deal with conflict. And number 3, know your partner's biases. If you know your romantic partner's core beliefs and where they stand on hot button issues, and you know what they are, it can help you have compassion for their differences, which helps you connect and communicate better with them. The reason that we want to know their core beliefs is that their values are connected to these hot button issues. We can talk about values more than we can talk about our differences. Usually we can connect through our values, not being like on opposite ends of political issues or religious issues. Knowing the why and what their biases are and what they're based on is really helpful. Understanding the role of expectations in your love life is going to help you begin to raise your consciousness about expectations so you recognize them when they show up and you can nip them in the bud. You will feel empowered when you begin implementing the strategies that I shared today for eliminating expectations of other people and for minimizing other people's expectations of you. Having this understanding is going to enable you to manage expectations so they don't manage you. And if you want to dive deeper into this topic, you're in luck because this is the topic of this month's Woman of Value Club. I'm going to be giving an hour-and-a-half masterclass workshop on this topic, how to manage your expectations in dating and relationships. And so if you are interested, I'm going to post a link. Thanks for listening, and I look forward to hearing from you.